support this shit. They don't have a clue, literally not a clue what's going on. Do you not have a child that's going to be impacted this? You have an autistic child. Your child isn't going to get the funding they need for their special needs program. They're like, what? What?
Hey, it's Jordan. I am in Flint, Michigan, East Palestine, Ohio, Tumwa, Iowa. Please support the only independent outlet on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up. And again, this is not an I told you so MAGA, but I think it's important. Number one, none of this shit that he's doing has anything to do with lowering prices. It has nothing to do with better government. You know, he's saying, Doge and Elon Musk and, government efficiency. This is just chaos. And I think what he's doing, and it's really the Steve Bannon playbook, flood the zone, so all the masses are so distracted they can't keep up with all the things you're doing. Because it's not just that he's doing this with freezing federal programs. It's the ICE raids where they're trying to deport 2,000 people a day. And there's not enough illegal aliens to deport 2,000 illegal aliens a day. There's not that many in the country. So then you have to go find people who are actually legal here, but Trump's people will come up with whatever cockamamie reason to get rid of them. So he's doing that with the ICE raids, the freezing federal grants and programs. Then you have, I did a video this morning, which is, we could do a whole show on its own, purging the National Labor Relations Board, which was one of the only good things Biden did, frankly, because as worker bees, we already have barely an ounce of power in this country, barely any leverage in this country. The only iota of leverage we have is labor unions, the ability to strike, the ability to picket, the ability to organize, which has been decimated by Reagan and Clinton and Bush and Obama and both parties. And it's seen a little teeny tiny bit resurgence in the last couple of years. UAW strike, the teachers strikes, the nurses strikes. So what did anti-establishment Trump? And you know what, MAGA? I'm tired of being nice. Fucking wise up. This man isn't anti-establishment. He's not a populist, and he's not for you. He had Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of TikTok. Trump might as well have been cradling their ball sacks. They were so close to him behind his inauguration. Why do you think he fired the general counsel of the National Labor Relations Board this morning, Jennifer Abruzzo, who actually was pretty decent for workers under Biden? I know, because I covered the Amazon workers union campaign, which they won. I covered the Starbucks workers union campaign. This is the first time the NLRB has been half favorable to workers. Problem was they don't have enough staff or budget or teeth. They can't go after these companies criminally. All they could do is civil penalties, which Jeff Bezos wipes in his bidet in one of his 25 mansions. But not only did he get rid of her, now he's firing the Democratic board member of the NLRB. So now there's no quota. So this is really a 5-alarm fire if you actually, MAGA, because a lot of you are actually workers and you are affected by this. Because if you cannot unionize, if you can't go on strike, and what's going to happen and why Trump is doing this, he's paying back Elon Musk for the reported $70 million Elon Musk was giving him every month during his campaign. He's paying back Bezos, Zuckerberg, all these miscreants who were giving money to his inaugural and are funneling money to his already. They're funding money to his White House, even though he technically by the Constitution can't run again. It's reported that Trump's going to raise $500 million within the first 6 months of this year. Why? Well, Elon Musk has already tried to go to court to declare the National Labor Relations Board unconstitutional. So has Jeff Bezos. They want to get rid of the National Labor Relations Board, which was an advent of the National Labor Relations Act. That was the New Deal. So they're just trying to get rid of, if you get rid of the National Labor Relations Board and then you get rid of the National Labor Relations Act, what's next? You go after the very constitutionality of, say it with me, labor unions. And you want to tell me that this guy gives a flying fuck whether your grocery prices
fucking idiots
are high? whether gas is high while he's mining his little Trump coin. He has taken you to the cleaners. You have been conned. And by the way, this is not, to be clear, because I know people can't, in tribal media and tribal politics, they can't have two different thoughts at once. This is not me or Steve saying, get on the Chuck Schumer train, get on the Democratic train. I'm not telling you to do that. I sent a scathing text message to my father this morning. I said, this is what you voted for? Detaining Native Americans? Native Americans? This is what you voted for? Detaining elderly Latino women? This is what you voted for? Getting rid of the National Labor Relations Board? I love you, but wake the fuck up. So, MAGA, I hope this is, if rounding up all the brown people makes, if that supersedes all this other stuff, then I got news for you. I would look in the mirror, because rounding up these immigrants, it's not going to lower your gas prices. It's not going to lower your grocery prices. It's not bringing the plants back. It's not bringing the plants back. Whoever told you that is bullshit. And by the way, if we're so worried about illegal acts, MAGA, when are you going to pressure Trump to prosecute the bankers that broke the law to tank our global economy? You care about illegal brown people, but you don't care about the bankers that tanked our global economy and were allowed to stay free for 15 years now? You're going to tell Trump to right that wrong? Because Obama is the one who let them stay out of jail. You're going to tell Trump to go after the fossil fuel executives who have broken the law. They have hid their leaks into your water and air and animals. You're going to go after the for-profit healthcare executives that are preying on the elderly criminally. I mean, I could go on, Steve. It seems like they only care about illegal, and I don't even like the term illegal. It's undocumented immigrants. But they only care about illegal people in the country. They don't care about the illegal oligarchs who are committing crimes left and right at your expense. So I don't want to hear it, MAGA. And if you're so much of a snowflake, goodbye. I at this point, it brings me joy. You know, we did a video the other day. At first, I saw we lost 60 subscribers when I went after Trump for his ICE thugs detaining Native Americans. And to be honest with you, I was happy about it. I told Colin, I want to do it's not spring yet. Let's do some spring cleaning and get rid of these folks. I welcome conservative viewers, but not if you just want to hear your own thoughts fed to you. You got 100 other channels for that. This is not one. I'm going to tell you the straight truth. I'm going after the fucking limousine liberals and the wine moms. So liberals are not safe here, and you MAGA people are not safe here either, because you're all being conned. Your turn.
No, they're feeding the con too. That's the thing. When you look at these folks that support this shit, they don't have a clue, literally not a clue what's going on. I kid you not. Going back to my own hometown in Washington, D.C. area, these people are celebrating this shit. And I'm like, do you not have a child that's going to be impacted this? You have an autistic child. Your child isn't going to get the funding they need for their special needs program. They're like, what? What? I'm like, you worthless piece of shit. You fucking dumb fuck. You didn't know it, but yet you were full-throatedly supporting it? What does that make you? What are you? What kind of person's like that? Who could even be like that? And I told my sister, my own sister, whom I love dearly, I told her, I said, you know, my son's autistic. And I said, with them cutting this funding, I'm very concerned about his ability to survive in this. I said, do you think an autistic child is DEI woke? I said, I don't want to hear about this stuff. Why don't you want to hear about what you guys doing? Why don't you want to fucking hear it? I'm serious. Line them the fuck up and make every one of them stare and look at it. Make every one of them look at their kid and apologize to their child for it. Make every one of them own the fucking shit. I'm serious. From the fucking economic illiteracy that is, by the way, not necessary because it's perfectly possible for you not to be economically illiterate, to understanding that capital is not going to let us vote away its power. They are going to do it. This is why you get it from shit libs, and this is why you get it from worthless MAGAs. You're going to get the same exact shit. Capital accumulation. Trump is accelerating the shit right now. Not that you really had a whole lot of say in it to begin with, but your ability to fight back is highly dependent on you waking the fuck up and organizing with your brothers and sisters who are working class. Not sitting there poking fun. Oh, the woke. Shut the fuck up. Your anti-woke shit is fucking juvenile. It's not even intelligent.
But can I just be clear, Steve?
Go, please.
Look at all the people that led this anti-woke crusade. It's all billionaires.
Yeah.
That's why MAGA, and I'm not trying to come down on you. I saw some people in the chat. I'm not going to stand for being insulted. Okay, goodbye.
Oh.
But I say this kindly with love. Why do you think billionaires are zeroing in on woke? It's a distraction mechanism. It's to take your eye off the fact that excuse my French, they're raping you up the butt. They are literally stealing from you. Elon Musk is stealing from you. Jeff Bezos literally stealing from his workers. I could go down the list. Hell, Goldman Sachs CEO just made $39 million last year.
Go MAGA.
They just United Healthcare, after their CEO was murdered by Luigi Mangione, they decided to replace him with a new CEO, the guy who most famously ran their Medicare Advantage program, the very fraudulent scam that is preying on elderlies and seniors. Okay,
Go
so
MAGA.
all this DEI and woke and all this shit, it's all a distraction. None of it matters. Some of it sometimes occasionally go too far. It's just like, oh, trans people in sports. That's your number one issue as we have a insane level of income inequality, as homelessness has skyrocketed in this country, as it's not even, forget the grocery prices, forget the gas. The 40-year inflation called gentrification, i.e. economic terrorism. You want to talk about woke? They have literally, I'm talking about MAGA. The Republicans have literally, it's like sitting at a casino at the card table and you're being cheated by the dealer. The dealer is scamming you and you don't get it. And then the dealer, he's rigged the game, and then he's told you, hey, look at that woke table over there. It's absurd. And I don't want to let the Democrats off the hook because they enabled this. They enabled this. You allow a buffoon like Trump, who literally was talking about Arnold Palmer's dick size like 2 weeks before he won. You literally allow a buffoon like Trump to win when you literally offer nothing but crumbs. For 40 years, people get fed up and they want something new. And that's something new, even if it's just a used car salesman and a snake oil salesman. If he can construct enough of a sentence, if it sounds charismatic, if for certain people he gives off strongman vibes, he could sneak in. He could sneak in. So the Democrats, if you want to, I don't know, listen to Bernie Sanders. I love these people now coming out. James Carville. Well, maybe Bernie had a point. New York Times columnist. Maybe that Bernie had a point. I mean, it's just beyond the pale. And I also want to make another point. Why I think, Steve, you and me are kind of outcasts in an otherwise tribal political landscape. I love these, you say MAGA people. Oh, you were preaching about Dictator Obama with his executive actions. Dictator Obama, it's unconstitutional, these executive orders. I mean, I'm sure the record will show Trump has done more executive orders in his first 2 weeks as president than any other president. Most of them seem illegal to me. I hear nothing about him being a dictator now from the same fucking Republicans who called Obama a dictator. So it's all tribal theater bullshit. If it's the guy on your team, silence. If it's the guy on the team you've been told is bad, dictator. And who suffers the most? All of us. Because I got news for you. Trump ain't bringing down grocery prices. They're probably going to go up because of these tariffs. By the way, with his ICE roundup, there's reports that farmers are not coming to work because, frankly, many of them are not documented. So prices are going to go up because you're not going to have the same supply of crops. There you go. We get rid of the brown people. By the way, getting rid of immigrants has nothing to do with prices. They're not taking your jobs. You know who took your jobs? Reagan, Bill Clinton, Obama, all of them by signing NAFTA, normal trade relations with China, trying to push through the TPP. That's what closed the plants. That's what did deindustrialization. And we haven't even gotten to AI yet, which we're already over on this topic. We're going to get to AI later. Steve, the last thing I'll say, at the end of the day, Trump is going to be a chaos carnival. It's going to get worse. We're going to see horrible ICE roundups. Our cameraman, John, is going to be on the ground and cover some of it. Obviously, they're not scheduled, so we'll try to get video whenever we could get there. It's inhumane. The ICE roundups, this chaos with we're going to freeze all the government programs and we're going to unconstitutionally purge the National Labor Relations Board. A lot of it will get thrown out of court. Some of it, his court, the Supreme Court, will uphold. But at the end of the day, I know it's hard not to, I'm talking to you, the audience, it's hard not to just be reactionary and focus on the chaos of it all. But I want you to remember, he wants you to be scared. He wants you to be discombobulated. The right wants you to be discombobulated. I'm saying if you're on the left or the right and you are wise enough to realize they're both fucking you, just the Democrats are fucking you in a more civil way and Trump's fucking you in a more authoritarian, aggressive way, we need to come together and organize. And what I mean organize, Steve and I have been talking about it for 2 years now, economically. We got to do economic boycotts, economic strikes. I'm talking Amazon. I'm talking Walmart. I'm talking about big box retail. I'm talking about corporate banking. I'm talking about all of them with mutual aid. Instead of giving money to politicians and all these nonprofit groups, most of which are a scam, throw it into the mutual aid pot so money goes to the Amazon workers. So you're not hurting the workers, you're hurting the shareholders in the company. I think that's the only way, because Trump is only going to listen, and Democrats will only listen if you hurt their donors.
Yeah, I think the only loyalty anybody owes each other is to the working class, to each other. No party loyalty, no fucking strongman loyalty, no MAGA fucking loyalty, no country loyalty, only working class loyalty. And that crosses state lines, that crosses country lines. Working class must unite. Fuck this shit. It's ridiculous.
And I just want to say one last thing, and I'm not even going to preface this with like, you know, I'm trying to be kind to MAGA. I'm being a little stern now. So if you're a MAGA person watching, I want you to really listen to this. Trump, one of the first things he did was to try and basically get rid of birthright citizenship in America. It basically means if you're born here, you're American, even if you're born to undocumented immigrants. This is not for national security or border security. It's just straight up bigotry, straight up racism. It's to play to people that are racist. I don't know what other way to say it. But the legal rationale that they used for it was basically that Native Americans are not actually American citizens. Let that sink in. One of the legal rationalizations they're using to say that birthright citizenship is not constitutional is to say that Native American birthrights was not constitutional in the first place because of jurisdiction. We literally raped, murdered, kidnapped, and stole their land. We deported them to reservations, not all, but most. And now he's trying to get rid of birthright citizenship by basically saying, hey, those Indians over there, they're not Americans. If you subscribe to that, I'm talking to you, MAGA. I'm talking to you, the Trump supporter. And not all Trump supporters, by the way, are MAGA. There is that swing voter who voted for Obama and then switched to Trump and then switched to Biden. So I'm talking to all people who voted for Trump, not just diehard MAGA. I know a lot of you don't support that. I know a lot of you are not just bigots and racist and just wanted something different and were turned off by the Democratic Party, but you cannot support that, as I told my father. Because that, and I don't use the H word often, and I don't compare everybody to Hitler, that kind of hate, that deliberate hate does have tinges of those fascists from the 20th century, and you should not be supporting that.